What's up everybody and welcome back to another seifbuys video. I'm Saif and today I wanted to give you a quick comparison here between the LG GQ950 and the GN600 B. GN600 B is a $300 monitor, around there. It's hard to predict pricing, but a lot of these monitors, they go on sale throughout the year, so I think it's about $300 US last I checked, and the GQ950 is 3 times more expensive at $900 US last I checked. I got it on sale for $200, $300 off. These monitors, basically I was in the market shopping around for a monitor as I was upgrading my desk setup here that you see behind you, and I wanted to see like what's the best monitor out there, what's the monitor situation. Everyone's talking about ultra wide monitors, those are pretty cool. Are those relevant for me, my purposes as someone who wants to use it for work and also to play PlayStation on occasion? Or is it overkill to get an ultra wide monitor? Let me answer that right up the front. If you are thinking about getting an ultra wide monitor, it seems that's more directed towards PC gaming because consoles, they don't support that format of ultra wide content. Yeah, and they're also like suboptimal, I think, for everyday productivity use cases. Like that ultra wide thing doesn't really come in handy all that much, except like for video editing and stuff like that. Anyway, that's the vibe I got from watching different YouTube videos. We got a $300 monitor versus a $900 monitor. Which is better? I think it's obvious GQ950 is probably better. The more expensive one's probably better, but is it worth that drastic price jump? And to be honest, I don't think it's worth it. For most people, it's probably not worth it. And if I was looking to spend around $900, if I didn't have an OLED TV already, I already have the LG C10 OLED. If I didn't, I would probably just save up a little more and get myself a nice OLED TV. Those are coming in around 42 inches. So if your desk setup is big enough, you might want to go and rock that, you know, get a nice big monitor and use it as your TV as well. And you'll get a lot more functionality there, especially if your main focus here is console gaming and productivity, like using it as a monitor. And that 42 inches might be a big. LG is coming out with a bunch of like little 27-inch like OLED monitor. They also have like 34-inch or OLED monitor that I think is going to be ultra wide though. There's like OLED monitors are coming. They're not like a commonplace thing right now, and the ones that are there I think are 1440p max. Anyway, let's focus back on the LG GQ950 and the GN600 B. So I had no clue, and I was shopping around, oh, what are monitor price ranges around, but it turns out they're super expensive, and I'm not sure why. I think it's a demographic, like the gamer has a lot of expendable income, I imagine, but I don't know if like production costs, it actually costs them a lot to make these monitors, because there's like massive TVs that are selling for less than some of these tiny monitors, but I don't know if maybe it's the high refresh rates and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm not a technical person and I'm not a monitor reviewer. This is just my opinion. An average consumer just went and bought it. I work a 9 to 5, you know, I don't have enough time to like figure out fully like what all these monitor specs are and everything like that. I just bought both so I could experience like, is it worth the price difference? And let me tell you, it's better, but it's not worth the price difference. I am keeping the more expensive one, but you're getting like 70% of the way there with the GN600 B, right? And that extra 30% really is a quality of life upgrade over the GN600 B. So the GQ950 is better, but not all that much better. Now let me tell you mainly why this is the case. This is on account of 2 primary reasons. So the screen resolution when I'm working, like 4K instead of 1440p makes a big difference for me. Like I like the extra real estate you're able to get with 4K. Like you're able to have the text go smaller and still maintain that clarity of text. Like it's still very legible. Whereas with 1440p, like basically you're not able to get the text as small, and even when the text is at the same size as on the 4K, it's just not as clear, you know, it doesn't look as nice to look at least in real life. I don't know, I'm going to try and put B-roll here. I don't know if it's going to show up that nicely for you, like you're going to be able to tell the difference. If I had the GN600 B and I didn't get the GQ950, it's not bad. If you're not used to 4K monitors, if you're not used to looking at 4K images, your laptop isn't the highest spec and you're used to looking at pretty high quality text, but not the best of the best at like 4K or even higher than that, then you'll probably not notice a difference unless you have them side by side. Actually, scratch that. I do notice a difference, even if they're not side by side, but that's besides the point. I'm used to 4K, right? So like if you're not used to 4K, the 1440p will get you there. I still feel bad about spending all that extra money just to get the 4K and all the extra features that the GQ950 has, but anyway, that's besides the point. If you have the expendable income, you already have an OLED TV, and because neither of these monitors, the blacks and like the contrast on either of these monitors, it's just not that impressive. Even the $900 GQ950, sure, it has HDR, it has local dimming zones, only 32, I think. I don't want to get too technical here, but anyway, the image doesn't look anywhere near as contrasty and as pleasurable to look at as on an OLED display. I know there's other technologies out there like quantum dot, like LEDs and stuff like that might get you close to OLED. I would use those to enjoy like my single player games like God of War and stuff like that, because it gives you a nice more contrasty image, right? That's for screen resolution, right? Like the extra real estate I get and just the sharpness of the image. Neither of these will support like 120 hertz on my MacBook for some reason. I think it's because I'm using an HDMI cable, or maybe the MacBook doesn't support it or something like that. Anyway, I didn't care enough to look into all that. I know 120 hertz would look super smooth. If I figure that out, I will let you guys know, but I don't know. For me, I couldn't figure it out just by playing around. I didn't Google it too much, but yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get 120 hertz. A quick note on resolution here. The MacBook Pro 16-inch from 2019 actually has issues with resolution where it would just change the resolution. Like it would go lower quality than sort of shift back to higher quality, but I think it was mainly an issue to do with the CPU usage. So basically, I think the older MacBooks, the ones that are running on Intel, or at least mine, had difficulty displaying to both the 4K monitor and the 1440p GN600 at the same time. So what would happen is I'd have issues with displaying full 4K content basically on the 4K monitor. It would instead show up like 1080p or something like that. And that would happen on the 1440p monitor and the 4K one. Like it would happen on both the GQ950 and the GN600 sort of randomly. The resolution would change. And I think that was an issue with the CPU or RAM usage or whatever is required basically to get the image to display on the monitor. Because when I upgraded to the 2021 M1 Max MacBook, like I had no issues with either of these displays, both using HDMI just like I was on the 2019 Intel Mac. And yeah, no issues with the M1 Max so far. Like it displays perfectly, the displays turn on quicker as I'm adjusting settings in the display settings as well. Like it's instantaneous, like there's no lag, like the screens don't turn off and then turn back on again like they were with the 2019 Intel Mac. So a little note there, because I know not everyone's upgraded to the M1 Silicon Max yet. So yeah, if you upgrade, you're going to benefit from basically better compatibility with more monitors, it looks like. I could be completely off base there, but that's what I've experienced with my 2019 Intel Mac versus my new 2021 M1 Max Silicon Max. Anyway, moving on to the gaming experience. The gaming experience on both of these is really good. The 1440p, the GN600, it looks great. It reaches up to 120 hertz. It doesn't have variable refresh rate because it lacks an HDMI 2.1 port. The HDMI 2.1 port is supposed to help. It can transfer more data, like up to 48 gigabits versus the 18 gigabytes on HDMI 2.0, which I believe the $300 monitor has a 2.0 port, where the GQ950 has the HDMI 2.1 port, right? And that 2.1 gives it basically VRR support and also like it allows that 4K image to pass through, right? Unhindered. And the gaming experience, all right, let me talk about competitive games. So for like Call of Duty and stuff, it is slightly better on the experience on the GQ950, but it's also like really good on the GN600. I wouldn't say you'd notice a performance gap in terms of how you play across each. I've played really good games on both in Call of Duty. As for single player, I definitely would edge towards the GQ950, but I would edge towards actually something that is more like an OLED display if I am going to be playing single player games, because the contrast really matters there. If you're playing like a Dead Space, you're playing like a whatever that new game is, I forget, it's the Callisto Protocol or something like that, you want your blacks to be super black, and neither of these monitors quite honestly reach that for me. One actually surprising point in terms of blacks being black, the GN600 B, the cheaper one, when I was on my MacBook and I'm just playing videos, like HDR videos, trying to get a comparison between them for this video, even though I know very little about color science and all that, blacks looked blacker on the cheaper monitor, like the GN600, and I don't know why that was the case, but I tried playing with the settings, reducing different things like black stabilization, and ensuring the picture modes were the same on both the MacBook settings and in the display settings. But anyway, I wasn't able to get the blacks on this one to be as black as the ones on that one, even though this one has better HDR technology. Like the GQ950 has better HDR 1000 technology. It has local dimming zones, granted 32 compared to on high-end TVs, or even not high-end TVs. You could get like TCL TVs with like 1000 local dimming zones and stuff like that, I think, for like around the same price. So definitely, if you're going to be playing single player games mainly, I would suggest you get a really good TV or one of those 42-inch monitors if your desk setup will allow it to truly enjoy the single player games, because it is a lot better on an OLED or anything that has a much higher contrast ratio than either of these ones offer. But for competitive gaming, I actually do prefer playing on the monitors, and I'm sticking with the GQ950, but gaming on the GN600 is no joke. You're getting that 120 FPS, albeit at 1440p, and you're not getting the variable refresh rate. So I don't know what that means practically, but I guess I do know what it means practically. Basically, what I noticed was motion on the GQ950 looks smoother. There's less of that stuttering and stuff. Granted, it's still really good on the GN600. All right, I'll just play footage from each and you can be the judge there. Yeah, so that's the difference there. And the GN600 B had something called black smearing. It has quite a bit of that. I wasn't even sure what black smearing was. I saw it mentioned on reviews, like on Monitor Unboxed and our things, like black smearing. It was a weird thing. The cutscenes of God of War, Atreus' eyes, the black in his eyes, it would smear across the screen as like he was moving around. And that was a little weird to watch the black smearing. It's a little distracting. The glare on both of these screens, anyway. The gaming experience is obviously better on the GQ950. It's not worth the price difference, in my opinion, the improvement in gaming experience there. But of course, it is dependent entirely on how much expendable income you have and how much you want to spend on your next monitor here. Especially considering that right around the corner we have all these OLED monitors coming out and stuff like that. So if I was paying full price for the GQ950, like 900 USD, I don't know. It would have been hard to pull the trigger on that. But with the $300 off or whatever, I felt better about myself pulling that trigger. Anyway, that's basically the primary two reasons why I chose the GQ950 over the GN600B. I don't think it's a surprise that it's better. It's just arguably not worth that. You're not getting that extra. It's not 2 times better. If you're getting 70% of the way there with the GN600B, the GQ950 will do that extra 30% of quality of life experience there. Neither of them are amazing, of course, with their black contrast ratios. And even I tried the Sony InZone M9, and I'll post a comparison between that and the GQ950 at some point. Even that has 96 local dimming zones, but it can't hold a candle to like OLED or anything with much better backlight technology, I guess. Anyway, if that's all you came for, like that's high level. That's why this one, the GQ950, is better than the GN600. GN600 is definitely a better value at that price point. If I was in university, if I was still in my dorm room and I wasn't making proper money, then I would probably stick with the GN600 B. But given where we are in life, I'm sticking with the GQ950 for now. And I'm sure if it ever came time and a better display came out, I could sell it on Facebook Marketplace for a decent price and upgrade to whatever monitor I wanted, because it is a good monitor. Drop a like and subscribe if you found that helpful. But if you want to dive deeper into the differences between these monitors, let me walk you through here. So in terms of aesthetics and design, you got a hexagonal shape on the back of the GQ950, which I think, honestly, it's subjective, but looks slightly better than the circular design on the GN600 B, which a lot of LG's Ultra Gear monitors have had in the past. The GQ950 also has that hexagonal lighting. It kind of looks cool at night. Would I pay extra for it? No, but anyway, having it is better than not having it, because you can turn it off if you don't want it. The Ultra Gear, the GN600 B, it kind of looks like it has an LED, but it doesn't, because there's no lighting there. I thought it did, but anyway, I couldn't figure out how to turn it on if there are lights there, but pretty sure there aren't. In terms of the menus, both have like the best menus I've seen on the monitor, to be honest, in terms of like controlling your gaming experience, seeing what's the frame rate that's displaying here. It's super easy to glance at that at a quick glance. And also PlayStation 5 has this menu where it can show you like what this monitor supports and everything. I'll put those side by side here, and you can see what the differences in each are. Obviously one has variable refresh rate because it has that HDMI 2.1 versus the cheaper one, which doesn't. Sticking on aesthetics and design, honestly, if both monitors are turned off, you'd be hard pressed to find a difference. One has a glossy sort of border, the other one is sort of matte. They both have really thin bezels. One is extremely heavier than the other one, so the GQ950 is like 25 point something pounds. The GN600 is like, what was it, 18 or something pounds, so it is considerably heavier. I don't know if that matters. Actually, it might matter depending on your monitor, the monitor arm you have, or if you're going to use the stands that they come with. So I got the GQ950 on a stand here, and I got the other one mounted on my monitor without issue, really. They're both 32-inch screen sizes, so you're getting plenty of real estate there. It's nice. My desk is pretty small. Like the area I have here in my condo for the desk, it's small. Granted, I'm still able to fit both side by side here, albeit with much difficulty. Yeah, it pretty much takes up the whole desk space. So I have to dock the MacBook, put it over there, and then I have to just get a wireless keyboard and pretty much have nothing else on the desk. I even had to buy this random cup holder thing to have room on the desk to just not have it be too overly crowded. Anyway, that was a big digression. Let's talk about the overall features. See, like the features, I'll just list them. I don't want to just reiterate what you probably already know if you've looked at any of the product pages. One obviously has VRR support, HDMI 2.1, all of that stuff. It's better for like console gaming on next-gen consoles because you're getting more options. Honestly, there isn't much else that's noticeably different to me between these monitors. Turned off, they look fairly identical side by side. And yeah, guys, that's it. I'll close the review out there. I don't want to elongate it beyond anything. Again, if you want a super technical review breakdown, I would go to rtings.com, or you go to Monitors Unboxed that has really good reviews on each of these monitors. They're what I consulted when I was making my purchase decision. And yeah, if you want to go deep into tech specs, go there. Otherwise, I'll catch you on the next video, guys. It'll probably be a comparison between the GQ950 and the Sony InZone M9, letting you know why spoiler alert, why I ended up keeping the GQ950 and probably going to return the Sony InZone M9. Anyway, that video is going to drop, so like and subscribe. But thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far to the video, I'm impressed. I'll catch you on the next video, guys. Peace.